Here on Telly One, we've only realised recently that for years our ident has been playing at the wrong speed, so we just fixed that. Here's Pookerly News.
Tonight, Tiffany the Bird is suspended as JCTV's top newsreader. We'll have analysis. The mob is running for re-election after a successful first term in government.
Let me tell you something. All my life, I've robbed because the fat cast didn't serve me well. Now I want to give back and earn your vote.
We'll discuss in practical terms the new poetic license, plus just who is behind the crime organisation. Welcome to Pookerly News. This morning, JCTV's top anchorwoman was expelled in disgrace from the station's headquarters after a social media post that caused a stir. Here's the story.
Tiffany the Bird, a regular sight to viewers that don't choose Telly One.
Thanks, I'll do this one, okay?
If you want.
Today, a bird lost its flight. After a never-ending reign at the top of the TV news charts, Tiffany of Jurassic City Television was suspended from her post by Station Director General M. Unke. The social media post which led to this fall from grace appeared online earlier this week and concerned Mrs. Bird's alleged support of violence.
Hello, followers. I'm doing a Q&A. Here's the first question I got from Walter45. They ask, what advice can you give me for dealing with the haters? Let me tell you, I've had a lot of haters in my time. Need I mention a particular newsreader that wants my place as queen of the headlines? Anyway, my advice, if you can't suck 'em in the nose, is just to ignore them, you know? Block them, let them live in their sad little world, and get on living your best life. Tiffany out.
Viewers were shocked to hear the sock in the nose quote when I broke the story online later that day, with many then calling for Tiffany's dismissal from JCTV.
Mrs. Tiffany, why should you say that stuff on social media? Why did you advocate violence?
No comment, no comment.
In the end, Mr. Unke has taken Mrs. Burt off air for at least a month, pending a halt on all social media activity. George Pookerly, Pookerly News.
Sexy. Somebody get me out of here.
With me to discuss the serious ramifications of the suspension is social and other types of media expert Tim Twir. Isn't this really bad?
Yes, the social media has really turned itself up to 11 on this one. Some could even say it turned itself up to 111.
So it's incredibly serious.
Yes, in this day and age, this thing is sort of taken very seriously. If you were saying living in a year like 2006, this sort of thing might have even flown under the radar, but in this day and age, that just doesn't happen.
But you can never be too careful.
I mean, based on what I saw, I don't think she meant any ill to it. The only thing I could really see is someone trying to use it to maybe sabotage her career.
I'm so sorry, Tim. We don't have any more time for you. Of course, there'll be plenty more on that story in the months to come here on Pookerly News, the best news show. Now, though, the mob government which came into power following the involuntary abduction of King Robert is hitting the campaign trail. Reporter Name sent us this.
A moment that changed the world. Viewers of Pookerly News last July witnessed the most extraordinary shift in power when, live on air, the unpopular, recently appointed king had the crown fall from his head onto a passing cat. Despite recent advancements in inclusivity within Jurassic City, overall control of the region can still only be held by dinosaurs. And following that moment, the first to step into play were the mob. Fear was the order of the short time thereafter, before the public came to realise what a good deal they were getting. Members of the former criminal organisation made a big impact in the final year before an election was due. Tax cuts, benefits, environmental conservation, and new infrastructure being some of the many popular measures put in place. And now they're fighting to maintain that control. Earlier today, it was here in Ballytiff.
We have made many fantastic advancements for you, my people. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let me tell you something. All my life, I've robbed because the fat cast didn't serve me well. Now I want to give back and earn your vote.
But members of the former political establishment aren't taking to the shift in popularity very well.
Sure, from the record in government, it's easy to see why people are drawn to them. But nearly everyone's forgotten that up until a year ago, these guys were breaking the law. They're the scourge of the city. That quick of a turnaround just isn't possible.
But would you make life any better for Jurassic City voters?
It's in every politician's interest to do so. But what has also been swept under the rug by this new leadership is that we're currently operating under a huge national debt, bigger than it's been in all dinosaur history. So if I could ask your viewers this, where is the money coming from?
On the campaign trail, this is a reporter name for Pookerly News.
From today, members of the public will need to obtain... What are you doing here? Get
I
out!
was
Why are
told-
you still here? Get out!
I was
Now,
told I was going
go.
to get more time.
Go, get out. The public will need to obtain a poetic license in order to make illogical comparisons or greatly exaggerate things. For example, presenting this show is like dying of a broken heart 3 billion times. Now, I can say this because I have the appropriate license, right here in my pocket. But others found to be communicating poetically without the right permissions could face a feeling like being whacked in the face 10,000 times by a daffodil. A 13-month prison sentence. Our reporter went out to meet some people obtaining theirs from the poetry department this morning.
How would you describe getting this poetic license?
It is to be, well, I can't say much. I haven't got one yet.
It's like getting a poetic license.
I then realised it would be more effective to ask people as they left the office.
I feel the song of the lark emanating from my throat already. Ah! It's a bit sinister. It's like they don't want people to express themselves creatively unless they can keep track of it.
I am away. I am the world. I dislike the authorities. Ah! Unhappy treacherous knave!
You're the one who's being treacherous, sunshine, but I don't think we'll be hearing from you much longer.
I'm going home to write a nice poem about some garden gnomes.
Good luck to them all. Godspeed. Finally tonight, you may have heard about the recent government inquiries outsourced to a new agency called CRIME, which stands for Criminal Research and Investigative Management Experts. Despite their high profile, they haven't made themselves very open to the media. So in partnership with Pookerama, we've sent top journalist Pseudonym McFakeface and a crew from the programme out to CRIME headquarters to try and find out what's going on.
Looking into official records, Pookerama has established that the crime agency sprung into being at the beginning of this year, and within a week they had been hired by the government to conduct an inquiry into the short-lived monarchy headed by Robert T. Dinosaur. And it was here just last week where the first major press conference took place concerning the inquiry to make this dramatic announcement.
As a result of our investigation, we believe the former king, Bobby the Dinosaur, is a dangerous individual and must be immediately detained. We ask all members of the public to be extremely vigilant from now on and immediately report any sightings of this man directly to crime.
This address matches with the one listed on the file as their headquarters, but aside from the one room you just saw the announcement made in, the outside world is in the dark on crime. For example, who is in charge of this organisation? How many people work there? And what has the government given them authority to do? We don't know, because the rest of the file is redacted. Ministers have skirted around the issue when asked about it. Minister, why have you listed the services of the crime agency?
This is confidential matter, and their investigation is currently in progress, so I do not wish to interfere. I have nothing else to say on the subject.
But clearly something is amiss here, and today, with the Pookerama team in my ear and a hidden camera on me, I'm going to walk into that building unannounced to try and discover any new information.
Thankfully, they've let him through the gates, so hopefully this is a good sign that they're willing to speak to him. Good afternoon, sir. Do you have an appointment?
No, I'm a journalist from Pookerama, and I'd like to ask someone in authority some questions.
Certainly, sir. Will I try and get you in with one of our directors?
Yes, that'd be great.
Fine.
Ooh, those are some fierce-looking security guards. They're not... Hey, put me down! Hey, that's my property! No, no!
Pseudonym McFakeface there. Now let's take a look at the weather with Doggo. What was he doing here? Where's Doggo? Well, nothing much good there. But all's well that ends well. But what for Bobby and Tiffany? I've got a feeling crime is closer to them than they think. Good night.